Well, guys, welcome back to Review Lounge. I'm here with another review and recap of DTF St. Louis episode 5. Now, remember we saw in episode 4 the end of it where we saw Floyd go inside the closet, because Carol and Clark were, doing a thing. And I think in my last video, I remember I did say that more than likely that he kind of probably likes, and I was right. Oh my gosh, I was on it. So that's boom. I knew it. He just seemed like that type of guy that wouldn't get mad. And also, few comments, people commented on a couple of videos where we were wondering when they're going to talk about that. And boom, Carol told him they were doing it, before, and he wanted to join, he wanted to watch it, things like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I knew it. I was watching it, and I was just going like, I knew it. Boom, yes, yes. But man, yes, and also they talked about where his downstairs situation, what happened. But it seems like it's always something else. First we had where, okay, he said that dude. All right. Then he's on to news people. Then the car comes up. We don't gonna hit a car. No. He moves out the way. Another car hits him and a sign falls on him. And Clark's like, oh, that messed you up. He's like, no, that messed my hands up. I was like, hi. Then he's walking. Then you're like, oh, then something with the umbrella. No. I'm like, okay, when are we gonna get to the point where we find out what happens? And they never do it. I'm like, come on. And watch it be something really stupid. I feel like they just doing this to pull our leg, man. But then, then one scene, I know I'm all over the place, guys, and I'm sorry, I apologize, but this is how I react. This is what I'm talking about. But he's in the closet and he sees somebody walking. I'm like, who is that? That seems suspicious. That's somebody from his past, or he's about to come kill him. All that stuff. And he runs out, and it's somebody he knows, and it was a school. And but they don't really get into that where he knows him. He's I guess he's blind and he's deaf. So, but that's where his parents drop him off the wrong side of the I mean, okay, that was kind of out of place. And I'm like, okay, I don't think we ever got back to a point where we know he was doing sign language with children or doing something like that. If I missed it, tell me, guys. I apologize. I might have missed it, but I don't remember them ever doing that. I remember he took the dance classes and incorporated it with his when he did the rave and everything. Um, so I don't know about that, but yeah. But yeah, it was just weird, guys. It just that, and everybody was cool with it. Carol and Clark and all that, and because Floyd still felt some type of way, but Clark, I was telling you guys, some people said, you can't really, his friend, he's messing with his wife, but yeah, but as you can see, they all talked about it, and but everything it seemed like is really pointing to Carol because we saw one scene when he's sitting down with Carol and talking to her. Then he like boom, I want like I said, having a long conversation. I want Clark to watch, and she's like, okay. And the reason he was like Carl, he wants Clark to watch because he feel like Clark is feeling bad because of what he's doing and making him feel small. And I don't think Clark has ever thought about that. I don't think Clark's thinking about that whatsoever. What he's thinking about is he's getting his rocks off with your lady because he enjoys it. That's his thing because and it still seems like they haven't really gotten to Clark's wife and everything. One time we saw them, we saw her is where they went to her, garage to find the other bike and everything. So they really haven't talked to her. They really haven't put too much on her. They really haven't, had nothing, no sit down, no conversations, nothing like that, guys. That still feels weird to me. This is episode 5, and we haven't gotten to where they talk to the wife. They haven't. So I'm really, is that gonna be a thing? So I don't know, but it just, it's answering certain things. Okay, we have the answers where, how did Floyd find out? Well, Carol told him, and he's okay with it. He wants her to be happy because he can't do it because he has issues, with his thing, getting excited, but also he's not attracted to Carol because of her umpire suit. That's all he thinks about. It's all in his head, and he has little issues here and there, and he just can't fulfill her. And he's a really nice guy, and he wants everybody happy. He wants his son to be happy. He wants his wife to be happy. All that stuff. So kind of not surprised. Clark doing it. I still think Clark's not a horrible person. Nobody's horrible, but you still did something behind your friend's back until his wife told him. But I really do think that he does love Floyd. I really do think that he loves Floyd, that he really does care about him, and I really don't think Clark killed him. I do not think at all. I think that's out of the question. Now, when they were talking at the table, with Carol, Clark, and Floyd all talking about it, and he brought up emphysema, and she's like, what about your blood thinners? Because it's heart and everything, and and the camera really pans on her, and she just sits there and she just like thinks about it, right? So that they put in like it's putting everything on Carol, putting everything on her. The second bike, yeah. In the episode, they find the bike in her garage. She rides the bike. In the video of the surveillance camera, when going back to the pool, it's a skinny person, but we can't see the face. We all assume it's gonna be Clark, because Clark, he's a skinny dude. Jason Bateman is a really skinny dude. He's about the same. He probably could wear the same. As you see my background, he probably could wear the same pants size as Carol. But so y'all thought it was Clark, of course, but you know, but you know, it could be her. I mean, it could be her, and not Clark. So everything is pointing to Carol. Everything's pointing to her, that she murdered um her husband, but also that she has a backstory as well. She has sealed her background, what she did. We don't know what she did. She has sealed. She even brought that up. She's like, blah 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 blah. And the cop's like, he cop. He seems no, he's not. He just seems stupid. He just seems so flabbergasted that people can have these crazy freaky lives and things like that. And people, you think people, the most people that you think are not the freakiest, because they look so well mannered and things like that, those are the most freakiest ones. Just like people say, church kids, they're the wildest one. Sorry, pastor kids are the most wildest ones because as a pastor supposed to be good in two shoes, things like that. So, you wouldn't think, but yeah, and also I'm not surprised, especially with Clark, his things he likes about robots and sitting on him and things like that. So I'm not surprised about that either. So this show is off the wall. Um, and then the detective tells the other woman where if she ever applies for to be a police officer, anything that she has still can be revealed because she's trying to be a cop. So I'm like, wow, really? You're gonna fake an application for her to get her background? I'm like, can I even hold up in court? Because my thing is, she could be like, I never applied. Like, this is going crazy. I'm surprised she even went along with that. She didn't have to, but I'm thinking, how can you do that? Because you can get in trouble. She probably lose her job. Like, you're forging an application to get information, and they could throw that out of the court and all that. Like, oh my goodness, has me just wondering what the world, right? So, man, guys, the theories now that I like, 'cause I didn't write nothing down. So like, I don't think it's Clark. It- Everything's pointing to Carol, but we also think maybe Floyd. Because okay, so that could be Carol on the bike, right, guys? That'd be Carol on the bike. She's riding there because they all planned it out that she's gonna have a little fun over there and everything. Then she comes. Then she either laced his drink too much and he drunk it, and his heart stopped, or he did it on purpose and had a conversations where, sweetie, blah 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 blah, the life insurance, because they all know about it, and he drunk it himself, um, to help his family. And the person that was, we saw one scene, the person that was banging on the door real hard probably was Clark, because Clark didn't want to see his friend die. Maybe he found out that Floyd was gonna himself, you know, to save his family, and Clark maybe went over there, probably not on his bike, maybe he rode in his car possibly to stop him. And that couldn't be it as well. Or he did it, he redrunk it and he was happening when Carol came. Maybe it's Floyd's plan to, go to sleep forever himself to save his family. And before they got there to try to get in there, they it was too late. And then instead of them staying, of course, to get insurance, maybe they might have looked as a like a murder or off himself because he had the magazine beside of him as well. It's so much going on that it could have been Floyd's decision to do it. Okay, it could have been Floyd's decision to do it, or Carol did it. She committed it. I don't think Clark did it. I don't see no outside forces. This is episode 5. We probably got what I think maybe 3 more episodes left. I think they're only doing 8 episodes. Um, if there were gonna be other outside forces, I think we already would have that in there. They would have added it already into this show. It's be too late to add something a big old twist in this. I think that'd be really out of the ordinary. It'd be too late in the show to add another element into this. In my opinion, I think that'll just throw everything off. Where everybody, like all of us, has been writing down and compiling information, things like that. I think adding some type of deep backstory or somebody else into this would be poor writing, in my opinion. I think so. I was like, either Carol did it, Clark did it, or Floyd. He went to sleep himself forever for his family. So yeah, this show is wild. It's a lot of questions, but but even with those theories, it's still pointing straight to Carol. I'm sorry, the bike was in her garage. She has some issues. She has some things in her record that she doesn't want to be revealed, and it's also sealed as well. She finds out that Floyd can't take too much emphysema. If he does, his heart will stop and he could pass away. So a lot of things we're finding out that she knows about. You know, and side note, I think Clark didn't feel bad, messing with his wife. I think he was really enjoying it because I think his marriage is loveless marriage. He's not attracted to his wife no more, so he's like, I'm having fun. But as Floyd, he wants to, get back to how he felt and be with his wife because he really does love her. And she really does. I think she really does love him somewhat, I think. But also, she always thinks about bills, and then we find out why she talks funny like that about them speaking up and things like that. She listens to those tapes to feel more superior in the conversation, so she makes everybody speak up, speak louder, things like that, or repeat themselves. I think that's a tactic she's using to, not to feel dominant. Possibly, we was listening to those tape recordings. She has how to have a conversation, so she has that as well. So everything that's happening really. It really points more to Carol, really low about Floyd doing it to himself, and really I don't really see Clark doing that either. So this has me everywhere, guys. This episode really had me going, and I tell you what, I can't wait for the next episode. And this is probably gonna be one season, of course. This is gonna be just a one-off, and I'm fine with that. I like shows like that. Like this, let's have us anticipated for each episode, until the climax. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm happy because one of my prediction was right, guys. He wanted to watch, and I knew it. He was up in there. He knew what was going on. He was like, "No, oh, before we go." Yo, we find out what that message about, bro. We need to talk, bro. And I was like, what are you gonna talk about? And he was telling about positions, which that shouldn't surprise me from this show at all. This shouldn't surprise me. But yo, man, he's like, I think you should do it like this. Put your legs, like this, like this. I think just constructive criticism. I mean, I want to see the bloopers, man, because I feel like behind this, I feel like they had bloopers of just them laughing, because I could not keep a straight face and act like that and to do that type of situation, that scene. They had to be laughing. They had to be dying when they were recording that, and Jason Bateman had a straight face when Floyd, David Harbour's character telling him and critiquing him and things like that. Oh my goodness, oh man, but I tell you what, this show just has me just like, yo, what is going on? I think that's about it. I think I covered everything that I remember. If I miss anything, guys, please leave in the comment. Give me your theories of, do you still think it's Carol, or do you think that they're just trying to deter us from who really did or who he did it to himself. What? Tell me what you thought about it. I think right now I'm leaning to Carol, then maybe Floyd doing it to himself, possibly. Clark's not on my radar anymore night right now. Because they found out about the insurance and everything, and she's adamantly denying it. Well, what right there? She's lying, of course. How you feel about the detective doing a fake application to get her information? Do you think that's something that she should have done, or it's going to backfire? It's going to blow up in their faces? Tell me what you thought about it. If I missed anything, again, guys, please leave me a comment below. Please tell me your theories. Tell me it all, and I'll try to comment on all of them, guys. I've been loving your comments, man, about just different things on here. And I think the next episode I'll bring up my favorite comments, my favorite theories. I'll especially do it the before the finale. I'll bring some comments up, and I'll talk about those comments, because I'm gonna read. I'll probably do like top 4 comments. That the people that leave theories, I'm gonna show them on the screen, and just really talk about it, and maybe and just see what those are, because right before the final episode, because that's gonna be interesting. All right, guys. But again, if I miss anything, leave a comment below. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you share this, guys. This episode was awesome. But until I talk again for the next recap of DTF St. Louis for episode 6 next week, guys, I'll talk to you later. Peace.